definitely. What's up, everybody?
What is up? It's a good day to be a good day.
Absolutely. And apologize for the late start. Had to answer a quick call. Client calling in for, again, trying to set up a walkthrough for their move. So do apologize because I'm the only salesperson in the office today. So it's going to be a pretty busy day for me after this. But glad to have you folks in here. If you guys could, as always, sponsored by you guys hitting that like and subscribe button, and really appreciate it as we continue to grow and build our platform here and help keep sharing our thoughts on investment and everything with each other. Really appreciate you guys joining in.
Yeah,
Also,
I've actually. Oh,
real
sorry
quick,
about that.
Cody. Also, I want to shout out to Crypto Dream. I know he's very busy. I hope he's still doing well. Haven't heard from him in a while, But hope all is well with him. But go support his channel, give him some likes and subscribes. He's been our day one supporter. So shout out to him. And he
I like.
definitely has a blue collar mindset from how he views crypto and he is a family man living the American dream. So go give him a subscribe. I'm sorry, Cody. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I like Crypto Dream. It's just me and Crypto Dream have different opinions when it comes to like what's good out there in crypto in general. We have
Oh,
very
absolutely.
different opinions. I know he doesn't like Polkadot. I know he doesn't even like Chainlink or Quant. So I mean that's
Mhm.
cool, but I love him more for me.
Yeah, absolutely. But we support him either way. Hopefully he is able to join back. I know he's working the night shifts, but definitely go support his channel. Uh I also want to say, guys, if you want to get some exclusive content from us on our Patreon, links in the description on YouTube or in the bio on TikTok. But we're live on all channels, and all our replays are on YouTube and Rumble. If you want to go give us a follow, subscribe there. Because right now we're at 353 subscribers, and we're trying to hit that infamous 1,000 subscriber mark, and we're a quarter of the way there. So hopefully you guys can keep helping us out and keep us growing. We love just chatting about this. But as you guys know, my name is Sal. I got Cody here. Cody's the one that got me into crypto 3 years ago. It's been a crazy ride ever since. Also, I own and operate 4 businesses, uh, part ownership of a construction company, full ownership of a furniture store chain, got a moving and logistics company, a cleaning company, and of course, I got my properties, investment properties I manage and rent out. So I got a lot of stuff that I do, and I like to share some of that wisdom. And most of the times, the money I lose
I
from
want to
there.
share a quick success story real quick. So I know somebody who back in 2018, no, actually 2017.
Hmm.
He was buying this coin called Oregon Trail. I don't know if you heard of it or not. It's called Track, TRAC. That's the ticker. But
Hmm.
long story short, he was buying it at like a penny, and everybody made fun of him. He told me the same energy I get from Quant. Like people say it's dead, and people say, "Oh, it's not moving." That was Oregon Trail in 2017, and then all of a sudden in 2021, it hit an all-time high of 250. So he rode that thing from like under a penny to like 250. So I mean, and people were saying that he wasn't going to make money off of it.
Oh yeah, and sometimes that's how it is. I mean, there's a lot of naysayers about XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Quant, Solana, a lot of them. And to be honest, I'm a pretty big naysayer on Solana as well. But we all have our reasons, and sometimes you're not going to be right about every investment. You just need to be right about a handful to make it.
Exactly. Even if you invest in 4 and you hit 1 or 2, that's all that matters.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Getting on to some of the basics here, the routine. Crypto is rallying a little bit. We're up 4% to 2.35 trillion, just shy of 80 billion in trade volume. Bitcoin dominance at 54%, Ethereum at 15%. And we have the greed and fear index at 52. And of course, we also have the stock market getting close to all-time highs. Right now, it's up about almost a percent on the Dow and 1.4% on Nasdaq and almost a percent on the S&P 500. So keep in mind, guys, the stock market is going crazy. It is going to eventually go down. I mean, even though those numbers are nowhere near in comparison to crypto's ups and downs, but believe it or not, guys, the movement that we're seeing in the market, 1% a day, is just ridiculous. And eventually, it's going to have a reverse and a correction. So we're just kind of preparing for that and dollar cost averaging in there. But we'll go over some stocks later. Right now, we're going over some crypto, and we got to keep talking about quant. I know we see it sound like a broken record on quant, but it definitely is a good investment. It's right now at 95.63.
I do want to
It's
disclose we're not
having
paid by anyone to talk about Quant. But go ahead.
oh,
I just had to
absolutely.
say that real quick.
We are not paid shillers. However, I will say this: quant is 11% of my portfolio. and I do have a significant sum of money invested in
It's
quant.
50% of mine. It's half of mine at the moment. The other half is Polkadot, and I'm adding Render. Render is actually not on my ledger though. It's on my Solana wallet. I mean, not that I care. I mean, you want to hack some random 23-year-old with, I don't know, 5 figures, go ahead. But anyway, but yeah, I like this. The reason why the Solana and people talk about this when it comes to digital assets. It's like people say, "Oh, I'm here for the tech," and people say, "Oh, you're not here for the tech. You're here for the money," and that's pretty much why. Like, yeah, Solana's fast and cheap. Don't get me wrong. However, you can't really call it groundbreaking tech when it's been in its beta and it's pretty much done with the beta phase, and it's still had issues with the network, transactions not processing through. So to me, the reason why Solana is seen as this big project just because it's a meme coin casino, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not talking down on it. I'm just saying like game is game. You have to kind of follow the game. It's like that's why Solana is really big right now because it's the host of a casino.
Mm-hmm. And they do have stuff going on with their network, but I'm just a little leery of it because I still believe venture capitalists who lost money on FTX and Solana are trying their damnedest to raise that value in it so you can get their return on investment on there. So just be careful and aware of that. But I do like the render token. Cody and I talked about this token almost a year ago
Yeah, and this random
when it was
guy,
at a
he was in
dollar.
our stream. Uh, he kept saying, I remember he was annoying he was like trying to badger you about it. He was like, bro, talk about render, talk about render, talk about render. And at the time, I didn't know what the hell render was. I was like, what the hell is render? I even said it on stream. I said, render, that's kind of a funny name. What's render? And then I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
damn, it's partnered with Apple and the Octane app, and the render logo is on the iPad. Like, that's crazy. You know, if you buy Render, your Render will actually pay for the new iPad. So you want that new iPad? Just wait till Render rockets. You'll get you a free
Yeah,
iPad.
pretty much. And render is starting to look like a favorable pick here. Now, granted, we're late to this, but we've been watching it and kind of kicking ourselves like because when we had that stream about it, it was at $1.13. I mean, you guys can go look it up on our YouTube page. Go all the way down about a year ago, and you'll see the live with the render token.
Yup, I was
There.
on it.
And we said that we should be watching it, and it 10x from there.
Yeah, which
So,
is fucking nuts.
and I do have to say, tooting our own horn, like Cody and I's picks have performed very well over the last 3 years, and we have documented evidence on YouTube because even the ones that we picked that are wrong, that we lost money on, or that we missed that made a gain that we did not jump on, like render, went up, right? So I just want to say, like, we're doing our due diligence. We're not shilling anything we're not going to put our money in. As you know, Cody is putting dollar cost averaging into render right now. So, and a lot of the stuff that we talk about, we put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah, and so I actually got a brilliant video idea for you. So you get the new iPad and you review and actually use the Octane platform. I think people would like to see that. I mean, I'm sure other people do that, but on our channel, it's kind of like the Solana phone idea. It's like actually both of those posted on your YouTube channel would, I think, be amazing.
Probably, yeah. I want to do the Solana phone review.
The iPad looks amazing. I'm just
Oh
gonna
yeah,
keep it real.
oh yeah. The new iPad is definitely something. I'm actually thinking about getting those for my salespeople in the office to use when they go do walkthroughs.
What is the chip? It's like the M4 chip or something like that. You know how fast that would
Mhm.
be on your sales side? It's like you're
Oh yeah.
investing in that.
I think it's going to be a good investment, and I'm not getting anything crazy because they don't need all the memory, so I'll get the basic one. But it is definitely, I think, a good investment for business wise. But that's another topic there.
I
Let's
also got
finish.
another use case for render. You could literally make a new like logo or anything for your business or like using the render octane.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And just to show the chart here, this guy came around like right around here, like it was end of July, and we watched it drop. And this was probably a good time to buy in because it skyrocketed right after a few months after that.
He knew something for sure. He definitely. That's why he was so confident. Kind of like how we're confident on our picks, but this guy like actually knew something. That's why he was badgering it. I thought at first like, what the hell is render? And then like eventually I was like, oh, that's why. Okay.
Yes, and there's a lot going on with hardware and software with them. There is a lot. So if you really want to go check this out, go check out our previous live. After this goes up into replay, I might go back and edit it and pin it for you guys, so that way you can see where the video and go through the deep dive, because it was a good like 40 minutes that we went over on this token. But as far as I can say, the news, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of news going on, and this could easily hit 100 during the bull run, easily. So if you
Oh
think you
yes.
missed X, you are going to hit it. It's going to hit it again anyway, and it's
Could you
still.
imagine? Oh, I'm sorry, but could you imagine if quant and render like both 10x in our portfolios, and we've been sitting here giving alpha like how he gave us alpha about render. It was just
Yeah.
crazy because like quant, it's like $95. It still hasn't. It's you realize next month we're coming up on 2 years since we've hit $45. We haven't hit that price in 2 years, literally. Swear, we're still 2x above that, over 2x.
Yes, and I don't think we'll ever see those prices for quant again. And my expectation for quant on the bull run is somewhere between 800 and 1200, and it's probably going to hit it towards the end of the bull
I'm
cycle.
out at 700. Yes, it'll. I'm very confident, and people would be like, "Why? If you're so confident, why would you sell at 700?" I'm like, "Well, first of all, I've been holding it for 3 years. I'd like to see some profit. Second of all, I'd have too much money on the table at that point because I'm not. I don't. It's not like I only have 20, 25 quant. Because if you only have like 10 to 20 quant, yeah, you want to hold that for a long time. But if you're someone like me who has 100 plus, like you want to take your profits.
Yeah, exactly. You want to try to make sure that you get your profits. My exit is to really just take some returns once it hits about 600, bounce it back down to 11% if it keeps going up. And then once if it hits 1,000, cash out entirely, and then wait for the market to cool off, and I'll start dollar cost averaging in the quant again. And that's kind of like how crypto is. It's like you dollar cost average into these bull runs, and you dollar cost out. You kind of DCA out.
You know what
With
my plan is?
go ahead, Cody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, I plan on, even when I take profits, I'm only leaving 5 QNT. Like I'm leaving 5 quant, not touching. It's just gonna sit there. If it ever gets to Bitcoin prices, that'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, that would be. Don't know if it will get to that, but you never know because there is a limited supply, and even the exchanges are running out of quant. So just keep that in mind, guys. As the crypto markets start to fill up more with retail investors, there's not a lot of quant to go around. But
Believe it or not, I actually think Solana's whole ecosystem is good for bringing retail in, like for the whole market.
oh, absolutely, they are definitely Solana is bringing it in droves, and it's mentioned a lot on CNBC's segment on crypto because they talk about Solana, XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum mostly. And that's what's driving retail investors in because a lot of retail investors watch CNBC, they watch Kramer, they watch a lot of those guys. And when anything pops up on their crypto related, they go and they check it out. So I'm pretty positive that retail investors are going to ignore this until the end. And then because they're going to start digging around trying to find the next pump. And quant's not going to be rising as much. And then once they really see the value in it, they'll jump. Now I don't like that it's fully centralized because that goes against the whole grain of crypto. And they're working with CBDCs and central banks across the world. But with investing, the big money's putting money in
Get
there.
your money
So
out of it. Yeah, you might as well make money off of it.
yeah, you don't hate the game, play the game. That's what I gotta say. Don't hate the game, just
You
play the
literally
game.
summed it up perfect with that. Like, yeah, it's crazy. You summed it up perfect with that.
Oh, absolutely. Um, Furthermore, though, it's like, as you guys know, if you were on last stream, I did liquidate 3 whole Bitcoin out of my portfolio, which drops me down to total of 14 Bitcoin right now and some dust. I'm still going to start dollar cost averaging into it, but I'm probably not going to buy anymore until it dips back down into 50,000 range, which I think it will do in the next couple months. Because I think the hype's going to be low, especially during the election. Once the election really kicks in, because retail investors are really, really focusing on the Trump versus Biden right now. So it's going to be very quiet. And if you're paying attention to markets, it's a good time to dollar cost average into crypto. Stocks, I would wait because it's too high. I would just invest in index funds right now with stocks because stock market's about to have a correction. There's no point in trying to pick a stock right now. It's just dollar cost average into index funds because you're going to get your best return off of that right now anyway. And if you're new to investing, you might as well start putting into index funds because even I have a reserve investment account, which is in index funds only and managed by my financial advisor. And all I do is once a year now, I just put a lump sum of money into it. So I recommend that you get that up to where it's comfortable for you. I'm not a financial advisor. As a guy say, I was a licensed stockbroker, but I could say the best thing to do is put money into an index fund until you have about 10 years worth of expenses saved up in there, which is for most people is going to be about a couple $100,000, which is doable if you're starting at 20 and you go to 33. You should have that in spades. You should be actually closer to 5, 6, 7, or even $1 million. And you'd be surprised at how quickly you get up there if you just put the money away. Don't look at it. Put the money in. Don't look at it. Put the money in. Don't look at it. Just put it away. Act like that money never existed for you, and you'll be surprised. I did it with my brother, and he built up to $800,000 in 6 years working at Amazon, making less than $40,000 a year. So I know it can be done. You just have to make some sacrifices along the way.
I'm so glad you shared that.
Because I know a lot of people are talking about, especially if you're watching TikTok a lot, they're constantly saying, you got to get a 6-figure job. They're interviewing women
I got
saying,
the hell off that app.
yeah, they're interviewing women saying you need to make like 100,000 or more 6 figures. Some of them are saying like 500,000. That's irrelevant. You can make it making less than 50,000 if you're smart with how you're setting up your 20s and your 30s. Even if you're 30, you can still make it off of this because this plan works best for 20s and 30s. And if you do it for your first 20 years, hell, your 40s, 50s, and 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even up to 100s, you'll be fine because you'll have stacked so much money in the most crucial part of time of your career. And by the time you get to 40, you're getting close to peak earnings, and you've already have peak investment because you've invested for 20 years. Because I know a lot of young guys are doomers right now, but if you start investing now, in 30 years, you will thank yourself because in 30 years, we're going to have a lot of booms. We're going to have a few busts, but we're going to have a lot of booms. And you have been investing steadily, dollar cost averaging in all along the way, and you will have succeeded. And you just have to put money in index funds and you'll make it. Most people who retire early, they put a heavy amount of money into Roth IRAs, 401ks, and index funds. That's it. And then after they get there, they just start buying rental properties that they can rent out to people for a good price with a good property in a good area. And that's your ticket to success. And I'm telling you, that's how you're going to make it. That's how you're going to make it. Because I keep seeing these guys, they're trying to get you to join a course. They're striving for it. All of a sudden, economy gets tough. Courses are abundant. Don't fall for the courses. You don't need a course. Just listen to Dave Ramsey. Spend less than you make, you'll make it. That's all you need to worry about. Cut out stuff you don't need. If you're buying too much soda, sweets, and stuff like that, do what I did. I just cut it out, and all of a sudden, when I was growing my business, I was saving like $500-$600 a month, and I was putting that into investments. And then by the time my business took off at the right time, I was able to invest more money, and very quickly, I got to where I want to be. Even though I had a 10-year plan, I accomplished it in 4 years. I'm just saying, you got to get a plan, stick to it. Don't listen to all these wackos trying to sell you a course, because there's no success in that course. The course is what made them wealthy or wealthier in some cases, because some of them have businesses. They might not be doing well, because I know a couple of them, they're in markets that they got to be hurting. There's no way he's constantly making sales gains. There's no way. I don't care what you tell me. There's no way. Everybody, businesses are cyclical. Everything what goes up must come down. Even my business, I shot up to 13.5 million in revenue for my moving company. Then we went down to 10, and now it's looking like we thought we were going to beat last year, but now it's looking like we're going to fall another, I'd say 15 to 20% below that. So I'm going to end up with 8 million. So I'm going to fall from 8 figures to 7 figures. It happens. It happens with business. You just have to manage it and work through it. These guys
That's how
offering
I see my portfolio.
well, exactly. It's the same thing for everything. Your portfolio, your life, your investments, your career. You have to go through the ups and downs if you're going to make it to your goal. It's not just one straight line up. It is a line up, but it's not straight. It kind of goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cody.
I saw a post on X that said a lot of people that are going to hold quant for 3 to 4 years, and they're going to sell right before it pumps. And I agree with that, and I think that's what's happening. A lot of the big bag holders that were in from last bull run, they're being washed out, and people don't realize that is the reason why we're in the accumulation consolidation zone, because the bag holders are, I'm seeing it every day. I mean, there's still granted, the quant holders have gone up by 45,000 since February 23, but it's like the bag holders, they're being washed out. That's just what happens. And liquidity rotates. Right now, the liquidity is in Solana and meme coins. Eventually, it rotates. Same thing with business and the economy. And remember when you used to say money runs like water, and there's like the concept of money sloshing around? Yeah, that's just how life works. Liquidity rotates.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I always say, like, money, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at emails, but real quick, but money flows like water. And a lot of us are trying to, when we really need to be getting as much money, we're kind of just cupping our hands and trying to get as much water as we can, instead of coming with like a 400 gallon open top tank to collect the water, and then putting the water into another tank. What we do is we collect the water and then we drink it real fast, and we collect some more water and we drink it real fast. That's what we're doing right now. That's what a lot of people are doing. And that's how most people do, because like you're going to lose. And then some people try to get a bucket, and then their bucket has holes and the water's running through it. You have to think of it like water, and it evaporates as fast as water. It gets consumed as fast as water does. Money flows just like water, and it can seep away and disappear in a matter of moments. Whether you like that fact or not, that's just how money and wealth is. And when all these people that talk about generational wealth, generational wealth doesn't exist. First generation makes it, second generation preserves it, third generation spends it. And by the fourth generation, the family's broke again.
That's what happened with Jim Bowie. Jim Bowie was the creator of the Bowie knife, and right after he died, another man tried to steal his invention, and then he was worth $1 million in 1800. Nowadays is worth 25 million US, and that money was squandered shortly. It was squandered.
Oh yeah, and you'd be surprised at how fast it goes, how tremendously fast it goes. Now, I kind of wanted to quickly talk about Ethereum here, because it's not really correlating much to Bitcoin.
It's
And
been
I think
beating on the Bitcoin pair since 2021. I mean 2018.
Yes, it has been, but right now, it's just in the last 7 days. It looks like it's kind of going down where Bitcoin's going up. And it's just a little unusual, but I think it's because people are spending Ethereum as like a currency. And so hear me out on this. Because if you go to Miami, the high-end watch dealer, like the secondhand high-end watch dealers, the secondhand exotic car dealers, um, those secondhand designer dealers for clothes, they are taking Ethereum
Yes.
as payment.
Yes. Rapper Lil
And
Uzi Vert bought his Bugatti with Ethereum. I swear, he said it.
yeah, so those people are starting to take Ethereum, which is why we're starting to see some weird price action on Ethereum because it's starting to move around like a currency in certain cities, mainly in the wealthy areas. Not many everyday people are getting Ethereum and spending it on McDonald's, but they are influencers mainly, and there's a lot of them worldwide are using Ethereum as a currency. Plus, it's being swapped back and forth because these idiots are trying to day trade it, and it's being swapped back and forth on like Uniswap and all these other places. So just be wary that that's what's happening. So it's kind of creating artificial flows that are not existent, that weren't existing before, because now you're starting to see the buy and sell behaviors of a currency kind of fluctuating in. I don't think it's going to reduce the price, but I don't think you're going to see major price action on it like some other cryptos will have. It looks like that action is stabilizing the price a little bit more, but I still think with this next, after that settles, I think the price should go up to around 4,000 before we hit the bull run. So dollar cost averaging into Ethereum is going to be a good idea. Plus, retail investors are buying a crap ton of meme coins right now, and all the top ones are up. So just be aware that they're going to need Ethereum to move those around, and those guys don't realize it yet until they want to move it off their wallet that they have, and they're going to have to go and buy Ethereum, and then that's going to spike the price up even higher for you. So just keep that in mind with Ethereum going on. But I still hold Ethereum. It's like 6% of my portfolio, but I'm just steadily just dollar cost averaging in it. Kind of like what Cody does with Quant and Dot, scheduled dollar cost averages. That's what I'm doing with Ethereum. So it's not like I'm waiting for dips. It's just every Friday, I buy a little bit. Every Friday, buy a little bit more, buy a little bit more, buy a little bit more. That's kind of it. So really nothing else is going crazy in the crypto markets. Just all the major ones have activity. Uh, just don't invest in it in those meme coins because I think what'd you say, Cody? Was it Pepe Coin or one of the versions of Pepe Coin that was like down 99% today? Um, well, he might not be.
No, I was there. Sorry, I was responding to something. But on gate.io, and when I sent you that text, in hindsight, it was misleading. I meant on the gate.io exchange. For some reason, there was some weird liquidity. And I guess if you bought it at that moment, you're now up like 99% or however that goes. Like it dropped 99% on gate.io, but everywhere else it did not do that. But it did hit a new all-time high today, and shortly after it got wrecked. Not tremendously, but on gate.io it did.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I still want to go over because there's a lot of meme coins, especially Pyro Token, Vault Inu. A lot of them, they're in the garbage. They're in the gutter. They drop like 99.98%.
Floki Inu.
Vault Inu.
I've also seen like these influencers shilling Floki Inu. I'm like, what? I mean, you could probably make money off of it. It's always the shit that you think is goofy and retarded that people make money on. But it's like,
Exactly.
it's just how it is. I swear. If you invested $8,000 in Shiba Inu in 2020, you're probably gonna think my math is wrong, and I'm just pulling a number out of my ass. But I did the math. If you invested $8,000 in the Shiba, I would never buy Shiba. Like, never buy no shit like that. But it's like, if you invested $8,000 in Shiba in 2020, in 2021, you would have saw few $100 million. Few hundred million. Not even exaggerating. That's how crazy. Shiba Inu was the biggest gainer of 2021 out of everything. It's crazy.
Yes. And the meme coins are going to strike again, and it's hard to predict which one. But I also want to say is that when the hype's over with those, and if you didn't cash out while the liquidity was high, you end up getting stuck with it, and you'll lose everything. Just, if you don't believe me, go back and watch the Dogecoin Millionaire, where he should have sold when he had $3 million and invested in other things, but he held it, and it went down to like 600,000. You don't want to be in that situation because those pumps are very rare and they only happen because of investor sentiment. There's nothing going on with those tokens or anything, and they're really just money pits in the end because someone's
Trust
going
me,
to lose.
You
No, go
don't
ahead,
want to
Cody.
be the Andre. You don't want to be the next Andre Jick or Graham Stephan interview. You don't want to be on their channel sharing how you lost $1 million. Because if you have a story like that, they're gonna want to talk to you. They're gonna want to bring you on the channel. Trust me. You don't want to be on that type of vibe. You don't want to be on somebody's YouTube channel and talking about for Anthony, for example, how did you lose $1 million? Well, I didn't fucking take my profit. You don't want to be that guy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You really don't. And speaking of memes, like the meme stocks are kind of got back with that one guy that started it all. Uh, I don't. I think it's Kitty or Kitten something, but you just gotta be careful with these because, like AMC and GameStop, if you don't liquidate at the right time, you get stuck holding the bag because stocks can get delisted and not monetize, and then you won't be able to liquidate out. Trust me, former stockbroker, I can tell you that happens. And let me tell you something. When these meme coins run up, even though you're putting pressure on the one hedge fund that's shorting it, what you don't realize is that the clerk in the exchange, if they can't if they can't if they can't find a buyer, they have to buy it. If they can't find a seller, they have to buy the stock from somewhere and then sell it to you. Like that's exactly how. If they run out of that, then they have to. It's like a pending sale. So your sale will say completed and you'll have the stock, but it's really waiting on they just put the money in out of their account, out of their pocket to cover the cost, and then once those shares come in, they buy the shares and give them to you. Like that. That's how the market makers are working, and a lot of market makers are everyday people, and sometimes they go bankrupt because of situations like this too. So even though you might be bringing down $1 billion hedge fund, you might be destroying 3 or 4 thousand market maker clerks' lives. So just keep that in mind, guys, during these meme stock pumps and rallies. But I also want to really say is that if you are in it, cash out when you can. If you got life changing money, cash out. I don't care what they all say, cash out. Your sale is not going to affect it too much. And I'm sure a lot of those idiots will hold into oblivion. But if you put your nest egg, especially if you put your nest egg in there, get it the hell out. Even if it just doubled, get it out. Just get it out. Get it out. Sell your stock to some other idiot that wants to hold it. Get it out. And I can tell you right now, AMC and GameStop, within the next 5 years, both companies won't be around. The way society is moving, what they're consuming, and the next generation, like Gen Alpha. Actually, I say the generation that will come after Gen Alpha won't be participating in consumerism like all previous generations. They're going to go back to probably what was the silent generation's era, where they only get what they need. They spend it on quality products. They're not willing to waste money. That's probably what's going to happen. So, and AMC with the current dating market, they can't capitalize off of that. And that, believe it or not, that was 60% of their revenue was date nights. And if people aren't dating anymore, then this company ain't gonna make much money. And I don't think people are watching movies like that anymore either. So the whole Hollywood and movie industry might be the first time they're no longer recession proof. Like this year is the first time mattresses are no longer recession proof. Like the mattress industry is no longer recession proof. It's faltering. And a lot of those small businesses are shuttering. And now we're getting up to big businesses. We had a couple local guys close their business now, and it ain't looking good. That's all I can say. It's not looking good. But if you guys are involved in it, I would take your money out. If you made money off this rally, get out now. I can't emphasize that enough. Get out now. And we'll go to this another bulletin right here. So retail traders are beating big firms and guessing where the U.S. interest rates will go next. And that's what I'm saying. Like these big guys are out of touch with the market. I know we're getting off crypto. We're talking about the stock side and real estate, but believe it or not, you guys have more knowledge and understanding of where the interest rates have to go and what's going on in the economy because you live in it. The person who's making $1 million a year is not really living in the same economy. You know, that after these guys make $1 million a year plus packages and incentives and stuff like that, they are far, far, far from being able to understand how these rates affect the overall market. So retail traders, because you exist and live in the market, you could see it happening in real time, and you're better able to guess and pinpoint where things are going. And like I said, everyone's talking about rates will go down. I'm telling you, the rates are going to continue to rise because they're going to have to break the economy to get rid of the zombie corporations, which are surviving just off of corporate debt. And once those are done and we're back to companies giving true value to the economy can start moving forward again. And that doesn't just mean manufacturing. It also means innovation. It also means being into something where they being an integral part of economic influence and expansion, not just offering smoke and mirrors like WeWork or Theranos, actually following through with their strategies and business models. I do also want to say is that we're kind of coming to that pivotal point in the economy where our population is decreasing rapidly. In the next 10 years, the real estate market's going to be wildly different. We're no longer going to have small towns. I can guarantee that. We're probably moving into city hubs. You're going to just have areas where there's like 7 or 8 million people and big hubs like that. So like I can say right now, with owning a moving company, we're moving a tremendous amount of people out of southern Arkansas. And they're moving to the population centers. So we're moving them from small towns to big towns. And we're even moving people from Northwest Arkansas to like Dallas, New York City, LA, things like that. And I don't know how that's going to take a long time to really affect anything, but it's such a slow effect that most of us don't realize it until it's already happened. I'm telling you, it's happening right now. And with this environment and everything, it's going to be pretty interesting to see where we're going, where the economy is going to go. I can tell you, factory farming is coming to the end, but also another 10 years, there's not going to be enough people to sustain factory farming. We're going to go back to regional farming, back to people growing their own gardens, back to all this. I wouldn't be surprised if big chemical companies and and farming companies like Monsanto just disappear because there's no longer a demand for it. Why do I need to worry about the antibiotics if I'm free ranging my cows now and they're not in a big pen? So they're out there used to the weather, used to the elements, getting in their immunities back. They don't need those chemicals anymore. And we don't need the cow to be as big as possible. Just needs to be a cow. So that's going to be interesting to see. I know it's kind of like, what the hell is this guy talking about right now? But we'll revisit it back in 5 years, because trust me, I will be streaming as long as YouTube is around, and or any other platform is. I will still be streaming. Trust me, we'll still be streaming, and we'll come back to it. But I'm telling you, that the decreasing population is going to have a weird effect, not an adverse effect, but just a weird effect, because properties are still going to be bought and sold, but like the out of nowhere in the middle of Timbuktu towns are going to just go back to the state, because people are banning them. I can go to a couple towns right now along the state highways. They're just empty, abandoned houses left and right, abandoned buildings, abandoned everything. Nobody lives there. I think there's one town, I forget the name of it, but it had a whopping total of 5 people. Everything else was just abandoned, because people just upped and left, and the owners that lived there, they lived there till they passed away, and the kids didn't want to come back and take care of the property. They just left it to ruin, because there's no value in it anymore. I mean, I think these houses are that used to sell for like a couple $100,000 20 years ago are now retailing for, you could probably get them for like $5,000 from the state, because nobody's taking care of it. It's going to be interesting, because a lot of towns are going to disappear. You're already seeing this effect happen in Japan, where they're expecting almost 900 towns to just completely disappear. Like nobody's going to be living there in the next 10 years. It's crazy. And I think the same thing's happening in the US. It's just that we're not paying attention to it. But that was a little bit of a rant there. But I think the last topic I want to talk to you guys about was the wages in California.
Oh yeah, I loved your video about that. I'm not even gonna lie, because it made a lot of sense how you put it together on what's going on in California.
Yes, and how they did the $20 an hour for restaurants, and now it's like this year it's $16 an hour. So let me just pull up that on Google for you guys. And like it's $16 an hour, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're a small business, every employee, you're paying a matched rate for the employer taxes. It's not as much, but you are paying something. So you're not just paying for the labor of the person, you're paying your share of the taxes on their labor, and then you get taxed per how many employees you have. Then you get taxed on your tax bracket of your employees. So your percentage of taxes just keeps going up the bigger you get. And if you're a small business and you need to hire like 4 or 5 people, you can't. And if you can't hire them and the big corporation is paying them $20 an hour, guess what happens to you? You can't compete, because you can't offer the same services, and therefore you literally get priced out. That's what happened with Walmart and these mom and pop grocery chains. Walmart came in, offered higher wages than the mom and pop grocery stores. Then they couldn't compete, because they could offer more services and benefits as to why you could shop at Walmart. And the mom and pop stores went out of business, because they just could not sustain their business without adapting to the new services being rendered, such as even curbside pickup of your groceries. Local mom and pop can't do that. They may have like 5 or 10 people total, like a stocker, receiver, plus someone working in a deli, someone working, a couple people working the register, and they're running it. Like it'd be hard enough to throw in trying to take on online orders, but here we are. And now we have food deserts because of reckless expansion of Walmart, and then they shut those things down just so they can shut down mom and pop stores. And trust me, even though this is very negative towards Walmart, like I have shares in Walmart. I have close to $500,000 of my net worth in Walmart stock. And I'm telling you that what they did was very bad for society. For the shareholder, it was great, but for society, it was not great. It was terrible. We lost jobs. People lost their wealth. Business owners had to close down. We had family run businesses that were in business for 150 years closed because of Walmart. And the same thing's going to happen with this with restaurants. If you have, let's just say you have a mom and pop pizzeria, how are you going to compete now because Pizza Hut has to pay their delivery driver $20 an hour and you're paying your delivery driver $11 an hour? That's a huge jump. And we're not even taking into account the unemployment insurance, which you got to pay to the state, and your workers' comp. Because now it's going to go up. It's going to go up significantly. You're talking like a $200,000-$300,000 increase on the business. You zapped all the profit. So now they got to raise their prices, and now they're overpriced for what the market is, and people can't afford it right now. You basically just effectively shut down 80% of the businesses. Everyone says like, well, people will adapt. No, what will happen is either the money will become devalued, and you're going to end up in the exact same position you were. You'll be right back in there. So if you were broke before this, all this $20 is making the 20 the new $10. That's all. That's all this is going to do. And like I said, people only think short term. So short term, it's great. The people making the new wages start making money. People start being a little happier. Things start moving in a direction that they think they want to go. But if we go out 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, all of a sudden now you have these ultra mega corporations. All the mom and pop stores are all but vanished. And now people are complaining that we're back to corporate towns. You don't want to go back to corporate towns. You don't want to, because that really is a new form of slavery, because now you're beholden to the corporation, because you can't lose your job because they're paying for everything. And you have to pay them for housing because now they own the house. You don't want to go back to that. What you want to do is limit the reach of corporations. We should only get so big. And I'm agree. I have a business, and my moving business expanded to 7 sites. Do I really need to be all over the country and be the only mover? Part of me was like, yeah, that'd be great, but really shouldn't. It doesn't offer a fair price and competitive advantage for the consumer. Really doesn't. It just makes it harder for them. So I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on this, but I'm telling you, in the long run, all this is going to do is going to hurt everybody. And the only ones who are going to win are going to be McDonald's, the big corporations, the Burger Kings, all of that. They're going to win. They're going to win. In the long run, they're going to win. In the short term, it seems like everybody wins, but everybody's losing. They just don't know it yet. You're kind of like the frog in the boiling pot of water. It's starting to heat up to a boil, but you don't notice it, so you don't care. And by the time you realize that you're boiling alive, it's too late. You can't jump out now. You're done. You're already cooked. I don't know. That's all I got for today on this. I know that it's really still kind of boring out there, and it's probably not going to be boring as we get closer towards the election. But I do have to go because I got a lot of stuff for my businesses to go. But we'll still go over final thoughts. So, Cody, do you have any final thoughts before we close it out for today?
No, but like you were talking about corporate towns, we definitely don't want that, and just keep your wise owl mentality and keep the open eye. The eye on the back of the dollar with the pyramid. People have conspiracies about that, but I see it as just keep your eyes open. People talk about the third eye. I just see it as listen to your intuition and just watch how the world flows. Watch where the money flows. Watch things unfold. Like it's like an omelet. Watch it unfold.
Yep. You just have to watch it unfold. And if you're investing, you have to understand you gotta be on both sides, not on one side. You have to be seeing where the money is going and try to be there before the money gets there. That's how you're going to make money in investing. And this is something I see it happening. History doesn't repeat, but it always rhymes. So just remember, we may not be the exact same situation in the 1930s, but we're going to be damn near close. And right now, I think we are in a recession, and the recession is kind of cooling off a little bit, but we'll have like a 3 or 4 year boom, and we're probably going to see the same thing. But this time, it'll just be we won't have enough people to meet the supply of goods that we're trying to offer. I think the population is going to start rapidly decreasing. I did a whole video on it on TikTok. I don't know if I posted it on YouTube, but the population is going to reset down. Like we just had a really unique boom because we had some great innovations in the farming sector in the early 1900s and early 20th century, and that led to more food, which led to more people, which led to now we can't maintain that food output because the land just isn't producing the same quality, and now the population's going back down. And even though people are saying it's choice, it's economy, I'm not having kids because I don't want to have kids, it's not. It's actually being driven by there's too many people, and that's just what's happening. So it's you may think some of these people may think they're making the conscious decision to not have kids, but in reality, it's a subconscious evolutionary tick that just fired off in that person, and that's how it's going to curb the population. Just like I know there's a lot of people that hate the LGBT community and all that stuff. Here we don't hate, we just point out the facts of investing. I can tell you the rise in population of that community is an indicator of how much that there's too many people in an area, right? And it's just a natural side effect. Evolution is trying to preserve the species and it's just curving it back, trying to curb the population so there's enough resources for everybody. Because believe it or not, we can't keep outputting this factory farm crap. We just can't. And a lot of you guys, millennials and Gen Zers, you guys have no idea what it was like before this, before factory farming. I can tell you right now, we used to have when we got oranges. I used to with my parents. We used to all squish the oranges that we weren't going to eat. All squish the juice down, concentrate it, get as much water out as possible, and then my parents would wrap it up and freeze it. And then when January came, when we had no oranges and we wanted orange juice, you'd break off a little block of it and then you would melt it and mix it with water, and that's how we had orange juice or any juice. And everybody was canning their own jelly, jams, and preserves. People kept lard aside to cook with. Um, there's a lot of unique things that skills that we lost because of factory farming, and we're going to need to acquire those skills again. So, just a kind of food for thought. Hope you guys stay safe out there. I'm going to check out because I got a lot of stuff going on with my business. So really appreciate you guys joining in. Really appreciate all your support. If you guys can like and subscribe, that'd be great. That helps support the channel. Also, we're on TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. So give us a follow and like there.